Do you remember last year when I gave a review of the ULTRASPIRE Bronco race vest? I happen to have it right here just to refresh your memory. It's this body hugging design. It's absolutely perfect. This has been my favorite vest of the entire year. Since I received this, I have not worn another running vest. That is, until I received the Big Bronco. Now the Big Bronco is the bigger brother of the Bronco race vest. And if you didn't know, this vest has been designed and in collaboration with Jeff Browning. Jeff Browning is a phenomenal ultra athlete. And look, if you don't know who Jeff Browning is, let me just encourage you to look this guy up. He's the real deal. He holds the FKT in the rim to rim to rim to rim to rim and numerous 100-mile wins. And you know, he had his input for the Bronco race vest and it was a huge success. He won several races using prototypes of the Bronco race vest. But during the whole process of running with the Bronco race vest, he decided, you know what, I need to run a little further. And if I run a little further, I need to hold a little more stuff. So he got together with the designers at ULTRASPIRE and they came up with the Big Bronco. I'm wearing the Big Bronco right now. The first iteration of the Bronco race vest was 5 liters. The Big Bronco, this one is 12 liters. So there's quite a bit more space to hold all your stuff for all your ultra adventures. Or if you're just going out and you're going out for a normal run. By normal run, I mean something, you know, less than 50 miles, which I guess is what most of us do most of the time. And you just want to hold a little more stuff, like more liquids, maybe a jacket, camera gear like I do when I go out filming myself. The Big Bronco is probably going to be the ticket for you. So let's get into it. ULTRASPIRE does have some pretty phenomenal designs that they have brought to the Big Bronco race vest. First and foremost, we have the Ergo Fit design. Now the Ergo Fit design, you're actually looking at it, you may think it looks like a normal vest, but it is actually quite different. The Ergo Fit design kind of comes down and around and it gives my arms lots of freedom of movement so I can reach around, I can access all the pockets on the go. If you think about some other hydration vests, some of them are just a little more restrictive, you know what I mean? But honestly, the design is nothing if you don't use materials that actually feel good on your body. And the Big Bronco is using ultra cool light mesh. It's kind of like a 4-way stretch mesh. It is very comfortable to touch and it feels just good wrapping around my body. We have these microfiber polyester edges that also just feel really good to touch. They feel good against your body. They feel good when they're cinched down, holding everything in. And I keep talking about this vest holding everything in. When I put on the Big Bronco, it actually feels like the vest is giving my body a hug. Like this thing just fits so well all the way around me that I can move and I can breathe and it just feels like it's part of me. Now, part of that reason that it feels so good when I breathe in and breathe out are the shock cord closure system that ULTRASPIRE uses just to keep everything in place. They call that the MAXO2 form. So you can see I've got 2 shock cords drawing the vest together, holding it across my chest, and it's actually very well designed. So let me just show you how it works. We've got these shock cords attached at the top and they come down, they run through these little eyelets, and then on the left-hand side we have 2 little clips. The little clips look just like that. They can be removed and moved to make it fit better. So for me, you can see that I have them clipped somewhat towards the bottom and somewhat towards the top. Now, if you were smaller than me, if your torso was smaller than mine, these can totally be fit to fit your actual body to make the vest the most comfortable that it can possibly be. So let's say you want this top closure down just a little, or you want the bottom closure up just a little. All you're going to do is unclip it and the shock cord goes back to shape, and then I would just choose the next eyelet up and I would go ahead and take this clip, reattach it to the next section of shock cord, and then clip it across my body, and there you go. It is fitting just like a glove. Let's just say it's not tight enough right away, or let's say you put on a jacket underneath this vest and you need to kind of give yourself a little more room, because all of a sudden right now this vest is just fitting to me, but all I have on is a t-shirt. If it's cold outside and I'm wearing a jacket and I need to put the vest over it, I'm going to have to give myself a little more room. These shock cords come down the middle of the vest. They come around here and it is attached to this little button right here, and I can go ahead and I can make it tighter, or I can make it looser if I need to open the whole thing up to allow for more space inside. Then I take off my jacket and it is just as easy as pulling a button and it locks in, and all of a sudden my vest is fitting perfectly to me just in a t-shirt. So in case you missed it, if I want to loosen it, I press the button, it loosens. If I want to tighten it, there we go. Totally tight. I tuck that into the pocket down here and it is fitted like a dream. So let's talk about pockets, because when you buy a 12-liter vest, you are obviously planning on carrying some gear with you on the run. And the Big Bronco race vest has 7 pockets, but 7 pockets That's pretty good, but the best part about the 7 pockets is that each of the 7 pockets are accessible while you're on the run. You don't have to stop, you don't have to remove the vest in order to access any of those 7 pockets. So why don't we go ahead and check out those 7 pockets, and we are going to start right on the front. And just so you know, the big Bronco is symmetrical, so what we have on the left, we also have on the right. To start us off, we have 4 pockets right on the front. Now, right now, you can see I have a soft flask in this top pocket, and then right on top of that pocket, I have another pocket with the 4-way stretch mesh that kind of sits over the bottle, so this is a perfect place for me to put gels, something fairly flat. I think maybe a bar would fit in there, but when you're running and you've got your liquid right here, it's nice to have some gels just in the front so they're easily accessible, and then you take a sip. So right on the front, we've got 1, 2, 3, and 4. You know what I forgot to tell you about, and that's the price. Price is a pretty important part when you're buying, well, pretty much anything. But the big Bronco race vest will cost you $149.95, which is actually a very good price. I think this is a very utilitarian and well-built vest, and it is going to last a long time. Here's a bit of a downside though. The vest does not come with bottles. Now, obviously, you may have a lot of bottles sitting around your house, and you can certainly use them. But before we jump back into the pocket count, remember, we're on 4, we need to get to 7, and there may also be a surprise pocket. But we'll get to that. I want to tell you about the best bottles that I have found. And for these front pockets, in my experience, I have tried a lot of bottles up in these front pockets. I found these 500 milliliter soft flasks with the bite valve to be the absolute best bottles that go in this vest. Now, you may have seen other vests that sit a little lower, and when they sit a little lower, you're going to have these long straws that stick up, and the idea is that you just grab the straw and move it to your mouth and drink. Now, on the Bronco and the big Bronco race vest, the pockets sit a little higher, so all you need is the bite valve. And when I'm running, I find it very easy just to reach my head over, take a drink, and then I'm off. And obviously, because it is a soft flask, when you drink, the bottle kind of compresses, so it takes up less space when you remove the liquid from it, and the pocket, that 4-way stretch mesh, just kind of closes in around it, so you're not gonna lose the bottle inside the pocket, which is actually a real pain in the butt. A lot of ULTRASPIRE vests also use the ULTRASPIRE hybrid bottle, and this is actually a very handy bottle. It's kind of shaped like a flask, like a hip flask, because it's shaped like that with a curved back to it. And when I first got my original Bronco, I was using this hybrid flask up front. But up front, it's just not ideal because I have to take out the bottle in order to drink from it because it's not a soft flask. It doesn't allow me to bite the top and then to get the liquid out. I actually have to pour the bottle out, take a drink, and then stuff it back in. And because the hybrid flask is a little wide, it's not ideal to stick in those front pockets. But that's okay, because if you did have the hybrid flask, and this is going to tie in beautifully to the next couple of pockets, you could put the hybrid flask somewhere else. And this brings up another benefit of the big Bronco race vest, and that is, see this back here? It's the ULTRASPIRE fluidic holster system, and basically it's a magnet. Guys, it has magnets on the back, and the magnet holds this pocket together, and this pocket in the back is absolutely enormous. Friends, you are going to be able to put a lot of stuff in here. I would say if you have a packable jacket, you could put it on one side of the big Bronco race vest. It really is that big. But we're talking about bottles at the moment. The hybrid flask actually sits right back here, and then the magnet closure system just holds it in place. Yeah, it's very easy for me to just reach back because this is one of the pockets that's accessible on the run, and I can just reach it out, pull it out, take a drink, onward, and then while I'm running, I can just stick it back there and I'm good to go. Now, there is a pocket on the other side because on the back, on the bottom, on the back right here, there is like a little divider. So I have another bottle storage area, well, not just a bottle, but pretty much anything that I can put on the other side, and it works just as well. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pockets that you are able to actually store stuff in. If you've been paying attention, you will notice that you can store 2 bottles in the front and 2 bottles around the back. Me personally, I love running with water bottles rather than a hydration bladder in the back. I just find it a lot easier to actually grab the bottle and drink rather than grabbing the hose. It's especially more convenient when it comes time to refilling those bottles. When I have a reservoir, you do have to take the vest off in order to take the reservoir out and then fill it. It just seems a lot more messy to me. So personally, I really like this 4-bottle system. It just makes my life a lot easier when I'm out on the trail for hours. I don't have to worry about filling the bottles at every aid station because I'm able to carry so much with me. However, if you are going on a super long adventure or you are someone that likes to drink from a reservoir, the big Bronco can take a 2-liter bladder in the back, and there is a little hook right in the back that you can hook that bladder to, and then you just run the hose down just like you would with any other vest. So potentially you could have 2 bottles in the front, 2 in the lower back and then a 2-liter hydration bladder in the main compartment in the back. While we're talking about the main compartment in the back, that is the 7th accessible pocket while you're running. And I know what you're thinking, Matt, how do you reach that pocket in the back when you're running? Isn't it hard to get your hand in? No, and that is the beauty of the Bronco race vest design. We have this foam accent right on the top, and you can kind of see it's kind of sticking out, it's quite prominent, and it kind of guides your hand in. I'm able to just reach back, and let's say I wanted a jacket, and oh, what do you know, I've actually got my running jacket stuffed in the back. I'm able to just go ahead, reach back, pull that out. I can put it on over the vest. If I want to put it on under the vest, I would have to take off the vest to do that. There's really no getting around that at this point, but hopefully someone will come up with a cutting edge design that allows you to put on a jacket underneath the vest without taking the vest off. That's $1 million idea right there. Anyway, and then when you shed your jacket, you can just stuff it back into the back. Of course, you know me, you know where I live in Florida. A lot of the times it's a little warmer than ideal. So it's really not often where I live that I am wearing a jacket when I go out for a run that I have to stow on. What I do find myself running with a lot of the time is camera gear. And that is the main way that I use this rear pocket in the back. So I am actually able to reach back and pull out a camera on a selfie stick, and I don't have to separate the camera from the selfie stick. So now when I go out for a run and I have to film something, get some footage for the socials, when I'm done filming, I can just stick it in the back. That 4-way stretch mesh just kind of locks it in place, and then when something comes up and I see, oh, that's something I want to film, it's very easy for me to reach back, pull it out, start filming. I can open the selfie stick and stick it all around, film what I want, and then when I'm done, back in the back. It's actually crazy convenient, crazy convenient. Oh, you know what I almost forgot to tell you about is these straps right on the back, right here. So these little shock cords on the back are where you would attach your Z-poles when you're running, and they would just lay right across the kind of mid-back there. You can cinch it down, and they are accessible from either the right side or the left side. It's pretty handy. And then you're off, trekking away. I wish I didn't just do this. Maybe I'll edit that part out. Anyway, what do you think? I would love to hear your thoughts on the big Bronco race vest by ULTRASPIRE. I'd also like to know your favorite running vest. What do you use right now? Why don't you go ahead and let me know in the comments. Oh, by the way, ULTRASPIRE was good enough to send me the big Bronco for the purpose of review. I've had a great time using it, and I'm actually going to use it a lot moving forward. However, they're not paying me to make this review, and I don't have any discount code to give to you. But if you are in the market for a nice running vest, something that's just going to work, that's going to feel good when you wear it, I highly recommend that you have a look at the ULTRASPIRE Bronco or the big Bronco, depending on your needs. The Bronco and now the big Bronco, without a doubt, definitely my favorite. Guys, my name's Matt. This has been my review of the ULTRASPIRE Big Bronco Race Vest. Be kind, be happy, run well. I'll see you in a couple of days.